friends, and welcome to my channel if you are new, or welcome back if you are back. Either way, thank you so much for clicking on my video today. If you are new, my name is Rabbit and my pronouns are they, them. And if you're back, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I'm really happy you're here. So today's video, long awaited. For me at least. This is one of my favorite times of year. Perhaps you can tell by all of the vlogging and random content that I've been putting out in October. Just loving fall. Oh my god, I can literally see the leaves falling behind me. It's amazing. Or in front of me, but behind me in the mirror. It's a whole thing. It's the best time of year. It's Halloween and it is time to decorate. So I am currently in front of my already decorated situation. I am obsessed with it. I love how it turned out this year. I am just my heart is singing. I am so happy. It just, oh, it's the best. So if you are interested in seeing how I have transformed my home from regular spooky into super spooky, then keep on watching. Okay, let's go. Step one in our decorating process is to set the mood, of course. I'm doing this by lighting a really lovely scented caramel apple candle and putting one of my favorite fall TV shows in the background. It's Charmed, and I have so much nostalgia around this show. It just feels like the perfect spooky movie. And we've got my little helper Tuna to help us along. So the first spot that I am starting with, just to get warmed up, is the kind of living room area. This is where Cage and I eat dinner every night and watch TV and stuff, and it's pretty cozy, but I wanted it to be extra cozy, so we're starting by doing the classic vacuum, clean everything, wipe everything down. This is one of the best parts, in my opinion, of redecorating, is just getting a really nice, clean, fresh start. The season is changing, the home is changing, we are in this lovely transformation period, and I am very pleased. Then I'm just folding up the blankets that Cage and I use while we watch TV and cuddle with our cats and stuff, and setting those off to the side. And these are our everyday pillows, but they feel quite Halloween-y, so I feel like they work. Every year I pull out this little bat hanger thingy. I think it's for a mantle, but I like to put it over the couch. And then I'm spraying down our little kind of dinner table with this apple scented cleaning spray. I am obsessed with it. It's from Method and it just smells so good. Putting down this spiderweb cloth. I kind of cycle through them throughout the years, but we usually have some sort of spooky cloth. And before, the dinner table is kind of cluttered, so I'm putting everything in this little ceramic coffin, and then just putting our coasters on one side and this little pumpkin on the other side. We'll get an addition to it before the video is over. But it would be nice to change the setup of the couch a little bit from what I normally do, so I put the pillows on either side, and I just think it looks really nice and symmetrical. And then Cage had got me this really adorable little ghosty soap bottle, I guess, but I filled it with my favorite hand lotion, and I've been keeping it out on the table, and I just love it there. Very, very handy, especially because my hands get so dry, and I like having a cute bottle for it. So this is our little dining room area set up. What we've got, I think it looks very cute. The before and the after. Next, I wanted to work on this little section that is kind of just beside the dining room table. It's kind of pink and pastel right now, which works really well, but I think I wanted to go with a spookier theme. So again, we're wiping everything down with our delicious Honeycrisp apple scent, and I'm using what I thought was a scarf, but apparently is a table runner at the back of the table, and then putting out these fresh sunflowers. They've faded over time, and now they're beautiful husks of themselves, and I adore them. I'm setting out all my favorite candles, including some LED ones, just so it's nice and sparkly, but also not burning my house down. And I'm putting a picture of Cage and I's first Halloween together, and a little candy bowl that I am filling with these very delicious fizzy candies that are vegan that I found at HomeSense. I have this pillow that I don't really like using as a pillow, but I think the design on it is really cute, so I'm using it as sort of a sign in the background and to fill up space, and I think it looks really nice. And then just adding a couple of little decorative pumpkins that I found on our trip, and this adorable postcard that I got my first year at my job. So this is the before and the after. I think it looks really cute and nice and festive. All right, so we're warmed up. It's time to move on to the main event. My favorite part of Halloween decorating every year is redoing the Halloween shrine. So first, the very sad part of taking everything down. It always looks so strange to have it all clear and clean. I'm like, wow, this is not my house. Starting by putting a creepy cloth over the top of our mirror thing, putting a slightly smaller creepy cloth on this little cabinet. For my centerpiece, I wanted to use my favorite piece that I found last year, which was this adorable cat candy bowl. And I wanted to use the cat mask and the pumpkin mask that Cage and I are going to use in our Halloween costume as kind of the flankers on both sides. I'm using these really sweet ceramic Michael's jars from a couple years ago to frame the situation. And I originally thought it would be cool to do like black cat stuff on one side and pumpkin stuff on the other side, but I decided to kind of make it mismatched so that we weren't too tied to one theme and it didn't look like too out of balance, I guess. I'm sticking this wooden sign from the dollar store up in the mirror, and my favorite stuffed animals of Halloween, the skeleton was Cage's when he was a kid, and the pumpkin cat is a recent purchase. I'm just adding in all my favorite little Halloween plushies and trying to find a spot for things. It usually takes a couple of tries, and it takes me quite a while to find a nice spot for everything. It gets repositioned and undone and redid and take it over there and put it back, and it's always a really fun time because I really enjoy trying to find the perfect setup of everything and playing around with it. It's just my favorite to have a spooky nostalgic movie in the background, some apple cider on the stove, a hot cup of coffee, and a bunch of exciting redecoration to do. Once I'm like pretty happy with the main mantle, it's time to move on to this cabinet that my mom painted for me a couple years ago for Christmas. It's time to dust it first and clean it really well, both the inside and the glass. It kind of gets its major cleaning once a year. That might be gross, but it's fine. It's my house. I don't care. And it's just so lovely and refreshed. The glass looks so nice and perfect and shiny. I absolutely love this section of redecoration. And this cabinet, I gotta say, was probably the thing that I went most back and forth on. It's really difficult when you have a cabinet that has kind of a border around it because everything will not be really visible, so you have to figure out like little stands and risers. Like I'm using these recycled plastic boxes or jars to make sure that you can actually see things inside the cabinet when the door is closed. And I'm using all these paper crafts that I got in a book last year as sort of decorations. Originally, I thought I would do kind of my ancestor shelf up in this section with like all of vintagey things that belong to people in my family and more kind of like spooky, classic gothic looking stuff in this shelf. But because of the overall vintage Halloween vibe, I ended up moving that to a different section, and it just took me a couple of tries to get a really nice setup that I enjoyed. What I ended up settling on was these little troll dolls next to the paper cutouts, corn, pumpkin, and like hay pumpkin looking guys. I have this black cat with a purple hat, but I thought the purple really didn't look great in this display, so I ended up repainting that part of the hat to be orange so it would match a little better. In the middle shelf, I did kind of a more vintagey Halloween thing with a sign and a cutout pumpkin and a little Halloween doll of a witch. At the top, I put more kind of classic vintage Halloween looking stuff on it from over the years, and I just think it looks really cute, like a little collection of jack-o'-lanterns. Oh, it makes me very happy, especially with the plush kitties up there. So this is what the cabinet ended up looking like at the end. Took quite a couple tries, but I'm really, really happy with the final result. And in the kind of left-hand corner, it was time to get that sorted. I love this Bride of Frankenstein bust, but I do need to repaint her. She will look different, but since this display is staying up all year, I'm in no rush, and she looks okay now. I decided to add this skull, this plastic skull from the dollar store in the kind of candle holder spot of the mirror. It actually fit kind of perfectly, and I was really, really happy about that. And one of my ideas for this year that was new was to try to do a bunch of cards in the mirror part of the display, because lots of times I don't like how much reflection we have, so I thought that putting some cards in there would kind of block it, and putting a bunch of jack-o'-lantern cards I thought would make it look like there was a bunch of like glowing pumpkins in the window or something. So that was kind of the look that I was going for there, and I honestly think it looks really cute. Then it was time to decorate the top. I usually always keep my snow globes up there. I think it's a good spot for them, but I wanted to switch it up by putting my Halloween trolls in this section. Last year they were in the cabinet and you couldn't see them that much, so I wanted them to be a little bit more front and center, or top and center, I guess you could say. So we have my little army of trolls all dressed up in their costumes, and then my little army of plush, which are also a favorite Halloween thing of mine. I've gotten, I think, most of all of these of the thrift store, and I adore them. I think they're very, very cute. And I originally thought I would take down the felt garland, but I like it a lot, so it's going straight back up in its original home. Though I did remove the little bows from the ghosts, because it kind of made it look like there were like boy ghosts and girl ghosts, and the binary. We're just doing ghosts and ghosts. Then it was time to put up all of my little greeting cards from the dollar store. I use these as kind of posters and backgrounds, and there was just an awkward amount of space at the top, so I ended up filling it with these Halloween wall stickers that I had gotten last year but hadn't found a spot for. Then it was time to decorate underneath the cabinet, and again, just using a bunch of random signs and cards, mostly from Dollar Tree and Dollarama and the sort, to fill up that space in the back. I'm always really impressed with their card selection and think they have a lovely collection of art for lots of different styles, though my favorite is kind of the more vintagey pumpkin looking one. I ended up putting like a little purple portion down here since you couldn't really see it too much, and the purple doesn't really work with any more of my color schemes, so I figured I'd do it purple until I find some better cards. And then it was time to put the cat tree back, and honestly this cat tree was bothering me quite a bit. It just really stuck out like a sore thumb, so I ended up taking my knitting needles and some orange and black yarn and just making a bunch of squares to try to cover it up and basically make a cat tree cover. Knitting is one of my favorite pastimes for the autumn, so it works out really well. Once I had everything measured out, it was just time to sew it all together on the cat tree. I have my perfect little helper, Tuna. She was a delight to work with, and I think she really appreciates her new cat tree cover. They do have multiple cat trees. It's just that this is Lemon and Tuna's first ever one, so we kind of have a special attachment to it. So I figured instead of getting a new one, and since it still worked, we would just customize it, and there's what we got. So here is the Halloween area set up. I love it. I think it looks like so fun and colorful and vintage, and it just makes my little heart sing. It just makes me think of like candy trick-or-treating and like that absolute joy that you get when you're like in your costume as a kid on Halloween. It makes me very, very happy. So now that the main event was done, I had a bunch of these like kind of leftover pieces. A lot of them were green and purple, so I figured I'd decorate kind of Tuna's dinner area next to the TV with a little bit of like a green and purple Halloween situation. So I'm using this Bats VHS DVD and all these Joanna Parker boxes, wax skull on top, a little oil slick looking rat, and a little bunny that I've repainted, plus a little welcome my pretties sign. Yes, this is where Tuna eats her dinner every night, and I just thought it would require a little bit of Halloween cheer. So the before and the after, this is how it looks. Very, very cute, and I enjoy how it turned out. Next, it is time to redo my altar. Normally, I don't share too much of my like religious practices on this website. However, this is kind of Halloween decorating adjacent, so why not? I was redecorating for Samhain and figured I'd show you guys. So we wipe everything down, replace it with a nice fresh altar cloth. I originally wanted to do something with just a bunch of like natural stuff like pumpkins and bones and things that I'd collected, but I felt really weird not having pieces that I'm used to having on my altar up. First, I put up a string behind everything so I could pin up some tarot cards for inspiration of like art and things that I'd like to embody for this season. I also filled up a jar with a bunch of leaves that I'd collected and used some found bones to add a little bit of decoration and reminder of the death and rebirth of this season. I put this winged bowl in the center for offerings and a little skull candle on the side, as well as a wand and this crystal that my dad gave me. I filled my glass cauldron with acorns and put a big quartz crystal, as well as this pin that Cage has given me and this little coin with a bat pressed onto it. I have my black rose that Cage gave me when we first started dating, and this beeswax candle that my parents made for me. The sunflowers Cage and I collected this year, and I just love having all these natural and kind of very special things on my altar. Oh, one guy that always lives on my altar is this little metal rabbit. This is the altar setup, and I think it looks really lovely, the before and after. Ta-da! So the altar, the heart of the room, was done, and it was time to decorate the rest of the bedroom. First, I needed some accessories for my stuffed animals, I figured. So I took some felt and used a lid to make a template, as I wanted to make, can you tell, a little witch hat. It was very exciting. I just used some hot glue. This was like a really 5-second project. Could have done it better and made it nicer looking, but honestly I needed a witch hat really quick for Lappin. Or at least I thought it would be for Lappin, but as you will see, it was shared among the friends of the community. I just poked 2 holes in the bottom of it to be able to thread the ribbon through, so I'd be able to tie it under the chin of the wearer. And for a 5-second project, I think it turned out really cute and achieves the necessary purpose. So this is the bed before, and yes, like I said, originally I thought the hat would go on Lappin, but then Crystal felt really left out without wearing anything, and I figured the hat would probably fit Crystal. Oh, there's Toonie. She's so lovely. I adore her so much. So I ended up changing the hat and giving it to Crystal because I remembered that I had this little suit that I think would fit Lappin really well. It originally belonged to Tuna, and it's this little pumpkin costume, but I think that pet clothes tend to fit stuffed animals really well, so I wanted to give my stuffies a little Halloween costume for the season, and I think they both appreciate it. Also, they are nice and are happy to share. So other folks in my bedroom got to wear the witch hat, like this little ceramic lamb. I think they look really cute with it. And here's a little break of Tuna. I love her. Have you seen a cuter lady? She's just the best Halloween decorating partner that anyone could ever wish for. Look at her little face. Okay, on to the next. So Cage and I have this lamp in our bedroom that is just beside our bed. It's really lovely and kind of vintagey. I don't know who it belonged to in his family, but it's kind of old style. And I just put this little kind of Michael's bat themed lamp cover over top of it. It looks pretty corny, but I think for the season, it's very cute. And then on my bedside table, I put down this ceramic Ouija board dish. I got it, I think at HomeSense last year, and I like it a lot. And this poster Cage gave to me for my birthday last year, but it feels very Halloween adjacent, so I figured I would show that too. Alright, now it's time to do the kitchen. This is very exciting because I tend to have a lot of Halloween towels and stuff, so I'm putting out some new favorites of those. One that's so pretty but really only decorative. It says the witch is in, and it's got all this fun texture. I have this little rug from the dollar store that I adore. I think it looks super, super cute. And then I'm hanging up my skeleton oven mitts on the hook. I think they look perfect and they stay up year round, but I figured I'd film this, just for the aesthetic of it. My bat hand towel is going back up, and so is my spooky apron, though I have made a new one for this year. I will give you a sneak peek of it, even though I have a video where I show it more clearly. Then I'm filling up my glass skull container with this really lovely apple scented dish soap. I really like having a spooky container for my hand soap and dish soap, and it just feels really fun. So setting out my hand soap one that I use every year since I've gotten it, and this new skull one. It looks so fun with the green in it. Oh, I love it so much. And then beside the sink, we are putting up this lovely jack-o'-lantern towel. It's so soft. I really, really like this one. Putting the kitchen table a nice wipe down with this amazing apple orchard scented spray. Setting out my fruit bowl with all the apples that Cage and I have harvested. I have this little silicone brush that's shaped like a musk shroom, and it feels very autumnal, so I'm setting him up. Putting my knife next to the stove where I like it. All of my spooky spatulas are going into the Batwing container thing. I think they look so cool, all in there with their spooky cats and their jack-o'-lanterns and their hats. For my sugar, I am putting it in a new jar. I'm using brown sugar for my coffee nowadays. I adore it. It tastes so, so good. And I have this little jack-o'-lantern jar, and I'm just using him as the holder, so setting him out. And I'm using this skull hand as a spoon holder. So this is what the kitchen looks like. Very, very cute. Very spooky. I adore the little setup. It just feels so cozy and warm, and I have this super ratty pink mat that I've been needing to get rid of, so I'm replacing it with this Ouija board mat I got last year and I was using as an outdoor mat. This is the little area that I ended up setting up away from the Halloween display. It's got a bunch of vintagey stuff that belonged to people in my family, and bones and crystals and their art supplies and pictures of them, and it just feels like a nice little place to remember everyone. And bonus points that it looks fun and spooky. We have this taxidermy bat that Cage's sister stuffed, and he feels very spooky. I did show him really quick.
And I put up this LED pumpkin light next to the TV. It looks super fun and retro when it's glowing. I also put the tray that we used to keep our remote on under the TV because it still looks really fun and spooky. Cage has been collecting a lot of dried flowers and plants for all of his bug art and stuff. So those all live behind the TV in front of this poster that feels so spooky and Halloweeny because it has this kind of Grim Reaper character, a skeleton with a crow on the scythe, and it almost looks like he's chopping down the flowers that are like above the TV. Cage found this lovely lamp on Facebook Marketplace, and we put orange light bulbs in it. This is the other lamp that Cage's mom gave us before the light bulbs are put in, and after the orange light bulbs are put in. It just makes our home feel incredibly cozy. I absolutely adore it. It just makes me really happy. And last but not least, in the front entrance, I'm just putting out the Halloween mat, all nice and vacuumed, as well as all our tote bags. I use reusable bags every time I go shopping, and I like to use kind of spooky trick-or-treat bags, so I'm just setting them all out on the handle, as that is the most convenient place I have found for them, as well as this kind of over-the-door hanger that is from Michael's, and it feels really cute. And that is how I decorated this year, basically. Now let's get some lovely aesthetic shots of the house all set up.
So I really hope you enjoyed that. I had so much fun filming everything and just transforming my home into this like lovely spooky cozy place. I can't wait to like leave it up year round because I don't know if you know, but the Halloween shrine is a year-round fixture. We're very happy and very proud of that here. So thank you again so much for watching, especially till the end. That means a lot to me. I hope you are having a wonderful, very spooky, very safe October, and that you are able to decorate your home to all of your dreams' delights. And yes, thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Bye!